Hello, you. It's me. I've been down with the flu, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So, here we are. Another day, another disgusting deed done by the gypster. I did write down a few things that I wanted to discuss briefly. Let's see. The first thing is that I do want to acknowledge that there was somebody who did send me an email, which I appreciate very much. I'm sorry I haven't gotten back with you on that. But the email was just essentially going on a little more detail about the DA who wanted to get voted in again and gave out that sweetheart deal to Gypsy. Apparently there's a lot more to it. Now, I don't have any evidence of what was said, so I'm just going to say allegedly, rumors, that the DA, apparently this DA, whose name I will have to find. I haven't done a lot of investigating because today is literally the first day I felt like a human. So be patient because I will get into it eventually. But apparently this DA was getting into some business ideas that were potentially going to be investigated. So maybe these businesses really may not have been on the up and up. We don't know. Allegedly, these are rumors. And somehow Gypsy and her mother were connected with these businesses. So I'm definitely going to look deeper into that. But it just gives more reason why this needs to be investigated further, and not just with Gypsy, but with the DA, with, what is his name? Her now manager, used to be lawyer. I get them all mixed up. There's too many names. There's Dan. He was the guy Gypsy supposedly dated, or at least had contact with. And then Mike, I think it's Mike Stanfield. I think he's the one who's the lawyer turned manager. He needs to be investigated as well. Everybody there should be investigated to allow this horrid criminal who did first degree premeditated murder and only served 8.5 years. That's despicable. That's disgusting. So I'm going to try and look into that a little bit more and see if I can find out any info on it. But thank you to the listener who sent me that email. I really do appreciate anything that is sent to me, any comments that are made. It just makes me feel really good to know that you wanted to share that with me. So thank you very much for that. And I will be looking further into that to see what I can find, if I can find anything. I don't know. I try. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was Ryan. A lot of people are on his ass for the terrible way that he acted towards Gypsy, threatening her with, I'm going to take Aurora, or I'm going to make sure she has my last name forever, and blah, blah, blah. And we know that's all just hot air. That's all just baloney. He was pissed. And he had the right to be pissed. I'm not on Team Ryan because I think he's just as much of a scumbag as Ken, lesser than Gypsy, but still a scumbag. But here's the thing. Gypsy was playing both sides, as we know. She told Ryan that he was the father. She told Ryan that she was planning on leaving Ken for him. So, of course, Ryan is going to act that way. And, of course, when Gypsy laughs at his face and says, ha 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 ha, I was just kidding, that's not happening, he was mad. I'd be mad too. Now, it's his own fault because he should know that when you deal with a lying sack of crap criminal, that's what they're going to do. I mean, I've been looking recently, I've been ill. I've been looking at old life after lockup shows, because that is a show, not just Gypsy. That is an actual show with a lot of people who are getting out of jail. And it seems like every one of them, except for the exception of maybe one or two, almost all of the people that are getting out of prison have 2 boyfriends or girlfriends. All of them. Some guys have like 10 girlfriends that they talk to all the time and keep online in case they need a place to stay or whatever. The ladies who are out of lockup, they do the same thing. They jump from one guy to the next guy, or they go back and forth between the two. Apparently, this is a thing. This is a thing that criminals do. And so they have one that they're with and one as a spare in case it doesn't work out with the one that they're with. So they always have a spare. So if they go to the spare, they're still going to have more as backups. It's also a very narcissistic thing to do, by the way. If you think about Amberlynn Reed, she does that a lot too, although it hasn't worked for her so well recently. But she does that, and Gypsy is doing that. So I am not going to fault Ryan for saying a bunch of stupid stuff because he was really angry. Okay? I've done it, you've done it, we've all done it. I don't think Ryan is a great guy or anything. You know, it seems like a lot of what he does is for the show, for the fame, you know. But he had every right to be angry because Gypsy was leading him to believe all the things that he said. And that includes, I don't agree he should have said it, but he did use the F slur. And apparently there is a big rumor going around that there is proof that Ken is, well, at least bisexual, if not just straight out gay. I don't give a shit about that. I don't care. And Ryan should not have used that against Ken, whether it's true or not. But I do understand he was extremely angry. He's tired of playing all the stupid shit games that Gypsy is putting him through. So I'm just going to give him a pass on that. You know, we say a lot of dumb things when we're angry, and he was obviously very angry. And Gypsy just played into it, telling Ken, oh, I'm going to take Aurora, and we're going to go to see Ryan, because he wants to see the baby. And Ken's like, why the fuck does he need to see the baby? That made sense. But she facilitated all of that. And the only reason why Ken would marry Gypsy now is because he just keeps seeing dollar signs. He sees the money. Because what is it about Gypsy? She has lied to him. She has emotionally cheated on him. She doesn't seem to really give a shit about any of that. She's not exactly the most faithful person, and who knows how many people she's still talking with. And Ken wants to marry her? Ken is really dumb. If he decides to do that. But then again, here's the thing. They do have their YouTube channel together. And the YouTube channel, I mean, I looked it over a little bit. It's just, obviously they planned this from the beginning, because there's videos from where Aurora the baby was just a little tiny newborn on up. So they planned this channel ahead of time. Obviously, this was what they were going to do. But the thing that really bothers me is them being on, I think it's ometv. I think that's what it is. It's kind of like an Omegle replacement. And it is known to be very popular with teenagers. Now, I know of it because I watch Vladimir. I can't say it as beautifully as he does. Those rolling R's are beautiful. If you're not familiar with him, what he does is dress up like a e-girl, and surprisingly, he's very passable. He looks really good. And then he surprises them or Vladimirs them by using his actual voice, which is very deep. And he's also done walks around different cities, pretending to be a woman, and seeing how he's treated. And actually, I really enjoy it, except for the fact that it makes me realize being a woman at night is really scary when you're out walking around, because guys will approach you. Guys won't leave you alone. They'll just keep walking up and, oh, come on, give me a kiss. Oh, come on, give me a hug. Oh, come on, come walk with me. Come walk with me. Come into the dark with me. Oh, my God. I love it, but sometimes it just makes me feel really paranoid and unsafe. So, but I appreciate him going out there and doing that to show that. In fact, I think he's going to make some kind of thing out of it. I don't know. Maybe a movie or something. I don't know. I hope he does. He's really good. He's really fun. His girlfriend is beautiful. She sometimes jumps into the mix. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, he is the reason why I'm familiar with ometv, because when he's doing his pranks, doing the e-girl thing and luring them in and then shocking him with his real voice, he's done it on that website, or what I guess this website. He does it on there, and he's a young man. He's probably 25 or something. I don't know. I think he's still in his 20s. He looks young. So, but yeah, he's been on there, and I have noticed when he's on there, there are mostly like older teenagers, like 18, 19, maybe early 20s, but I've also seen some kids. So that it's obvious that it's for younger people. So for Gypsy and Ken to be on that, and we already know about her pedo tendencies, you know, saying that she'd give up her 13-year-old daughter to Nick in every way, you know, that's absolutely disgusting and despicable. I think maybe Nick didn't really understand what she was talking about. But anyway, Gypsy offered her non-existent daughter at the time to Nick when she turns 13. To me, that's pedo tendencies. There's something very wrong there. And it makes me very uncomfortable to see her with her now daughter, a real existing child, Aurora, because I'm fearful that she might find it okay to do maybe something really disgusting and incredibly harmful to that child. And for her and Ken to be on ometv together makes me wonder if he might have that propensity as well. I don't know. This is all alleged. This is not rumor. This is just my thoughts and my opinions. But why would two grown adults go on something that's specifically used by kids or minors and young adults? Why would they go on it? It doesn't make any sense. I wouldn't go on it. What for? What would I get out of it? Talking to a bunch of kids? I mean, it's one thing if maybe I was investigating something and I'm just interviewing them or something. But why else would I go on there? You know, I don't, you know, I'm not fancy. That's what I was going to say. I'm not well known, and I don't think it would please them to see me. You know, it just seems very weird. Why would a murderer and her partner, who have a child themselves, why would they go on a site for children? I really think that the parole officer should look into that, because that doesn't make any sense. You don't intentionally look for young adults unless there's a purpose for that. What is their purpose? She should be asked that. That should be investigated, because there's something wrong with that. That doesn't make any sense. When I watch Vladimir do it on his channel, it's just for gags. It's for a prank. It's silly. But what are they on there for? What are Ken and Gypsy going to talk to a bunch of teenagers and young adults about? What is their purpose? Hi, I'm a murderer. You can be famous if you want to be a murderer too. I mean, what is that? Why? Is that what it is? I don't understand why they would go on there. And all I could think of is it has to be for nefarious reasons. And of course, again, my opinion, my thoughts, not saying that's fact. I'm just saying that's weird. I don't like it. And it should be looked at. It's just not. What for? I don't get what for. I mean, most of the kids probably won't know who she is. And the ones that do, I mean, I don't know. She gives me the creeps, quite frankly. So does Ken. And these two are raising a child together? Ugh. But it just seems like she's doing more and more questionable behaviors. And her parole will definitely be up in June, at the end of June, because the parole officer or officers, whoever, they're not listening to anything. They're not watching what she's doing. She seems to get away with everything. I'm still convinced at that huge bar club thing that she went to with Bree and someone else that she was drinking. Apparently, witnesses have said allegedly that she was like flashing her boobs and doing all sorts of weird stuff. That to me says you're drunk or on something, some kind of substance, who knows. But who does that normally? That doesn't make any sense either. Everything she's doing. But the parole officer doesn't seem to be doing anything. The parole board, I'm sure, gonna just set her free, which they should all be investigated, quite frankly, because that doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you be watching your parolee and seeing what they're doing online and questioning what they're doing online, ordering them to get offline? Honestly, she should not be allowed online. She should not be allowed to influence anybody. I don't care if she's trying to be a mommy blogger or a family channel. We know how that goes. Yeah, it's gross. It's disgusting. There's something wrong. The parole board isn't gonna do anything about it. So she's gonna end up doing something again that'll land her in prison. And I don't want to see anyone get hurt. Why doesn't the parole officer take any of that seriously? All they have to do is turn on their computer and look. Look at TikTok, look at Instagram, look at YouTube. That's all they have to do. Just look, and guaranteed they'll see or hear violations. Because I believe she's done quite a few. Not to mention the numerous times she's threatened people. Just outwardly, oh, they got me by the short and curlies, but, I'll be off parole at some point. Come on, that's a threat. It's all threats. And they're doing nothing. It just infuriates me. It's so frustrating because, like so many criminals, they will end up committing another crime and another crime and another crime until finally a judge says, enough, go to prison. But it takes so long sometimes. If it's just a simple act like stealing, I don't see that as being quite so bad. It's still bad. But then when they start hurting people to steal, that's bad. When they start killing people to steal, that's worse. Gypsy just murdered her mother because she was mad at her. She didn't get what she wanted. That's it. I'm sorry, but Nicholas did not try to stab her, Dee Dee, so many times that her head was nearly off of her body. Okay? That's somebody who's got rage. Nick doesn't have that kind of rage. Gypsy does. Gypsy, I believe, allegedly, my opinion, my thoughts, she did that. She had that rage. And she's going to be free. Free to do what she wants. So why wouldn't she commit another crime? She got away with it the first time. Barely a slap on the wrist. Most people get life for premeditated murder. Gypsy didn't. And now she's talking to kids. Or young adults. Which she is not. It's alarming. But, we're just going to have to see what happens, I guess. I worry. But, I don't know. I guess we'll all just have to sit back, eat our popcorn, drink our sody pops, and wait to see what happens and hope it's nothing too bad. Hopefully, no one has to lose another life, because that would just suck. Especially when it could have been preventable. That's what makes me so angry. She should have just stayed in prison for life. It would have been preventable. And now we've got a new life with Aurora the baby. And who knows what's going to happen. But again, we're just going to have to wait and see, I guess. Anyway, thanks for listening. Glad you're there. And that's all I got to say.